where the priority on this Finn comes from. A lot of it has been like targeted at specific players. Like we see this 14% bans. 4 of those bans, came against Suijay and Immortals when they played against Hammers earlier. But there's going to be that Gwen, so a very vulnerable composition from TeamSoloMid in terms of health, but a very powerful composition in terms of damage.
Yeah, and they do have that little bit of sustain as well with the Adagio, so I wouldn't expect the health will be too much of an issue for them, especially with how coordinated a team they are, but it's that time.
Do it here with their tournament life on the line up against TeamSoloMid. I'm not jealous of these guys right now.
The pressure!
What a tough position to be in here.
I'm looking at the composition coming from TeamSoloMid. I'm seeing Vonsi on that CP Kestrel, and I'm scared.
You heard Suijay, he's like, Vonsi's going to carry so hard. It's like reminiscent of like some flashbacks happening of some past games that he's gone up against there. And we've seen Vonsi carry so hard on this Kestrel. And Bacon mentioned, we haven't seen tons of Kestrel, but she's been banned out, and the time she's picked, there have been a lot of impact coming out in these matches. We'll see what can happen here.
That is definitely going to be that case here. And one thing, going back to that CP Kestrel coming out from Vonsi, is that in the past when we have seen him playing that CP Kestrel, one thing that he does tend to do is that he is a little bit over-aggressive. He does tend to step a little bit forward. And if Fnatic recognize this and are able to anticipate where he's going to be when he's a little bit far forward, that is something to be taken advantage of, especially when a Finn and a Glaive there.
I mean, one thing Finn does like to do is body block a lot of times, but, you know, with the CP Kestrel, you stand right behind it. That is going to be some splash damage coming through. You got to be careful. And right now, I'm sure Fnatic understanding of how they need to play this composition out. Net hanging out here with Tetno, just allowing Tetno to farm out. You see Net dropping the charms there. He like I said, he's one of the cheekiest players. I think between him and Rek,
it's home crowd.
He's using those taunts more than almost anybody.
he's playing up for the crowd there. And I like what Palmatoro did there. He took his farm, went to the lane, and then just teleported home. Against the CP Kestrel, he's going to have a really tough time, especially because there's not much vision available in the jungle. If Vonsi uses his active camouflage, Palmatoro's going to have a really tough time trying to find him. And right now, those Glimmer shots, you don't want to be just taking those to the face. Wait till you've got a little bit more defense. Get the Stormguard banner as he has done, so you can clear that jungle a little bit faster.
All right, well, one Glimmer's going to connect onto Palmatoro. He knows what's going on as the flare does come out. We'll move up towards the lane. They want to look for a target, but based off of the rotation, TSM should know what's going on, and we do see both teleports back home, of course, from Flash and Best Chuck. They're going to go ahead and heal up, grab a couple items, move back out on the map, and it looks like, you know, the same story as we've been seeing with this win, going into an early tension bow, and hey, why not?
Why not? Who wouldn't? With the bonus damage that the Tension Bow offers, and also with their Boomstick where it offers even more bonus damage, when those two work together, that hits so hard. But the problem is when you've got two heroes such as Glaive and Glaive and Finn, they already have quite a lot of base health. It won't be as influential in the early game as perhaps, say, if you were hitting onto a Scarf. But it's still going to be doing a lot of damage in the early game. I want TSM to be applying that pressure. So far, maybe not as much as we would have liked. We've seen Vonsi. He's been quite tempered, actually. He's not being as aggressive as we were expecting. But this could be the first 3v3 so far, as all 6 members are in the lane, or 5 now, actually.
Yeah, you see the active camo forward. Net taking a lot of damage quick. Palmatoro moves up with the boots, though. He's going to knock Flash back. As Flash, can they apply the damage? Nope. How about some more Glimmer shots? How does that taste? Woo, that's dirty.
That tastes bad, and he forces 2 members off Fnatic back, and this leaves TSM in a very comfortable position. Vonsi, however, is low on energy. That is the thing about CP Kestrel, though. It's very energy intensive using those Glimmer shots, and if you just throw out a few rounds of it and you just kind of run out low on energy, you have to go home, as he's doing. You have to be picking up those energy bats, because he's got 2 right there.
Yeah. Flash pulls aggro off that turret. He's going to be forced back here. But as you said, I mean, you have to be careful, and that's why we do see some early batteries coming out here for Vonsi. He's going to keep that energy up. He needs to keep the adrenaline stacks as he does start to drop these Glimmer shots through. That's going to help him out as well with those resources. Flash has grabbed his fountain. 4 minutes in here. Net not quite grabbed his own yet. So we'll keep our eyes on these items as we move forward in the next few minutes here.
Well, he's got the tension. Well, we see Flash X picking up the fountain, but we also see Best Chuck NA picking up that tension. But that's a very powerful powerful power spike actually there for TSM. They're in a very comfortable position to be picking those team fights right now, and I think that Fnatic recognize this. They're going to have to be a little bit more passive. They don't want to be. They have to pick their targets very carefully if they do choose to go in on anyone.
Now, if they choose to go in on anyone, you're going to have to be careful as far as your positioning is concerned. With Palmatoro, Stormcrown complete here for him. One shot's going to connect onto net Toilette. Pretty respectable damage. Polite Company comes out maybe a bit early out of net. He wants to be using this in and around these engagements. Just that extra survivability for him, for his teammates, it can have such a huge impact here. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4 glimmer shots coming out of Von C. And both Von C and Best Chuck hanging out right on top of this active camo. Incredibly smart. More glimmer shots coming out. This turret is taking so much pressure. I mean, you have the Adagio, you have this Kestrel, you have the Gwen. This is range poke damage, and this turret is just getting melted. Goodbye, Tier 1 turret.
This is something that we see a lot of CP Kestrels doing, actually. Even in the European regions in North America for the past season or in the Vainglory 8, is that with their glimmer shots, when they have a little bit of crystal damage going there, it's very easy with every single glimmer shot just to poke that turret down. We saw that working very successfully there, and I feel like that's something that Fnatic maybe should have expected, picking up those minion candies as well early on, just to allow that wave to push forward a little bit, maybe prevent this happening so early. And to me, these compositions and these playstyles coming out from both of the teams right now is the very epitome of EU versus NA. EU, they've gone for a very late game composition here from Fnatic, and TeamSoloMid, so much early game.
Early game, but definitely a composition that can scale. And this Kestrel will have a damage impact throughout the majority of this game. Von C is going to go for the Frostburn first. I think this is a nice choice. You're already doing so much damage. If you hit a target, they get that Frostburn applied to them. They're going to be slowed down just a touch, allowing Best Chuck to move forward with that tension bow, get a proc off on that. A lot of damage output potential here. Infusions picked up. They're going to be the inventories currently for TeamSoloMid. And they should, Fnatic should be seeing that they're sitting on these infusions right now. So one shot's going to connect onto net. A couple of glimmers coming through as Von C and Flash moving forward. Didn't quite want to throw the flare out as Flash only had one. Throws it forward into the left mustache brush. So clear out these scout traps. And once again, this is TSM just very, very slowly, very methodically just clearing out, taking control over this map.
Yeah, absolutely. Those infusions, massive, massive power spikes there, just sitting in the inventory. And for me, it just feels that Fnatic, what they're waiting for is net to hit that level 6 and have that force of cord available. Because with the forced cord, with the Quibble, and also with the afterburn, that is a lot of crowd control. They can really have very strong target focus once he reaches that level 6.
All right, well, we wait for that power spike, but hey, there's an afterburn onto Best Chuck, the skedaddle back. They're going to focus onto Palmatoro's net moves forward. Wait for it's going to come through, silencing them out, but just for a very short duration. Polite Company once again out of net, trying to buy some time for his team. Techno does have his own weapon infusion if he wants to pop it at this point. See if he wants to do so. Has that Sorrow Blade. One shot's going to be dodged out by Techno. A nice quick Sonic zoom there. Ooh, Glimmer's landing and splashing on the two members of Fnatic. You have to be so careful. Look at Von C just dropping these Glimmers after Glimmers after Glimmers. Palma's on the front side of this fight. He's going to need a Found to stay alive, and he's not going to get it. Well, it was actually on cooldown. I don't know, maybe a miscommunication going in like that. They want to keep the turret alive, but they're melting. The Fnatic, they're falling apart. TeamSoloMid come through. They take the turret. They take the ace. I mean, how much of this is Fnatic making a mistake or TeamSoloMid taking advantage of positioning on this map?
I wouldn't say Fnatic are making any mistakes right now. I would say it's all coming down to TSM just completely taking advantage of not only their composition but also the power spikes, and again of positioning. Techno JJ, he's not able to clear the wave as fast as TeamSoloMid are pushing, and that to me is the main issue. And also, I'm going to point this out to Vision. We do see Net2Lit now with 5 flares in his inventory. That is going to go a long way with helping them identify Vonce's active camo traps, also identify where he is on the map, because he's their main he should be their main target right now. But actually, if you look at it, Best Chuck NA should be their target as well, but it's so difficult for Fnatic to choose, well, which one can we choose? We've got this great target focus, but who can we really go for here?
A tough situation. You say one should be the main target, maybe another should as well. TSM are going to move down as group flare comes out. Net getting melted. Net2Lit. Net, you're going to go down now. One shot, one destroyed Finn as he drops to the earth. He's going to take a second to respawn here, but I mean, this game, we're 9 minutes in here. The respawn timers are so short.
No forgiveness here, and this massive 7k gold lead. They are just going towards TeamSoloMid at 9 minutes. It's looking so strong. We're not seeing many kills going the way of TeamSoloMid right now. And looking at the itemization coming from Fnatic there, Techno JJ, he's just put his infusion on. He definitely recognizes that TeamSoloMid, they are going for another push, but is it going to be enough?
Oh, Force Decord's going to come out, of course, blocked off. Flash X making a wise decision. That's the one you want to block off if you need to. Wait for it thrown out a little bit wildly here. And it's not going to connect on anybody, so this is a large cooldown. 60 seconds here. Not going to have that ultimate for the Vox. Is looking from range, coming out. Turret's going to drop, and you see it popping up. 64% success rate on the reflex block coming out of Flash X. And we just mentioned, I mean, perfect timing for that stat to come up there. He's choosing when to activate this item, and it's always when it's the most important ability for him to block for his team. It's an incredible job thus far.
Incredible job, and the ability that they're really should be prioritizing the block is that Force Accord, because if they are able to get onto Best Chuck NA and Vonce and just manage to slam down a Quibble as well, that's an excellent opportunity for Fnatic to be turning around those fights. But because he is blocking them, he is denying that opportunity away from Fnatic, because I feel like that is the condition that Fnatic are waiting for at this moment in time. Maybe we make it to the late game, Fnatic, they're going to be in a much better position to fight, but as it stands, that Force Accord, absolutely pivotal in these games.
I mean, it's pivotal, but you're also waiting on a power spike from this Finn. He needs another level. You need that Quibble to be overdriven. You need to be able to have that area of effect stun. I mean, you are fighting a range composition, but you have to have that overdriven Quibble to really start to come alive as a Finn. Currently, Fnatic in such a dangerous position, backs against the wall, a massive net worth lead built up here for TeamSoloMid. Incredible play thus far in the 11 minutes of this third match in this series.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. It's just so scary, actually. Just looking at the way that TSM are playing, and we see this is Vonce. He's very far ahead. Oh no. Oh
yeah, no. The stealth coming out here. Now the flare is not going to actually connect. They don't know where Vonce is there. 1-2, Glimmer shots connecting, plus the Ace's side is going to be resisted off, but he silenced up for a second. Net's down! Yes, they lost Net2Lit! Now Techno, he's going to go ahead and boot out into a safer position as the first does come out of Flash. It's not going to connect onto Fnatic, but they have zoned them out. And this is TeamSoloMid. They're on the Vein Crystal turrets, 11.5 minutes into this game. I mean, game 1 and game 2 were incredibly close. We went into late game, but this is a different story here.
It's 5-0. And sometimes when we describe games, when we describe teams as pushing on a clinic, this is pushing on a clinic here from TeamSoloMid.
Oh, it is.
It's just, I feel like they're not making any misplays. Flash X, just landing that Crucible to prevent those Force Accords. Vonce, his positioning. Sometimes we do see him being a little bit too over-aggressive. But this time he's being very moderate. The way he's playing is just perfectly timed with those power spikes. And that Palmator, are they going to go in for the steal? Is this a good idea? Oh no!
Palmator, oh man, he gets the afterburn off, but Glimmer shots connecting, they're splashing. Stealth moving forward, Vonce is on the back line. Vonce, it is Net dropping that fountain, but it's not enough. Palma tries to find the stun. Techno's melted, Palmator melting as well. TSM absolutely destroying Fnatic here. 8-0 in the net worth, in the kill score, the map control. They've done everything they need to, and this is why everybody gave them advantage coming into this series here. This is what so many people expected. That's your last Vein Crystal turret melted, and this is the Vein Crystal going down. Barring a miracle, this should be the end here. And there you go, Xingyi. Wow. TeamSoloMid, you set a clinic. Phenomenal. I mean, this is Vainglory 101 here.
An absolute exhilarating game to watch being put out from TeamSoloMid. 13-minute game, maybe one of the fastest that we have seen so far.
Vonce feet up on the desk, my